Hey everyone, quick video that relates to the vet cart. You can see I've got the vet cart up in the air. I'm working on that transmission leak. I think I've figured out what's wrong with that, but I needed to move it really quick, kind of clean up underneath it so I can work on it. And I went to use my floor jack, which I've had since high school, so that's about 20 years old at least. Probably bought it when I was 16 to work on my first truck, and it wouldn't work. I don't know why all of a sudden. I don't really have a good explanation for that, but for some reason I could not get it to pressurize and lift. So this has happened before, and I filled it with oil, and I'd forgotten how I did it. I think the first time I did it, I didn't do it right. Pretty sure the first time I did it, I took those things off, which you can see faintly say, do not remove, or do not adjust, actually. So I don't know why they say that or what those do. I assume it has to do with the valving, and this thing has like a quick lift. It's a speedy lift, so in its first lift it'll like, you know, come right up to where you want it, which is really handy, but that feature isn't really what matters and what you need in a lift. What you need in a lift is one that'll actually lift a car, and this one wasn't doing it. So did some looking around, and this may be common knowledge, but the point of this channel is to kind of show all the little things we run into when you try to do stuff yourself. And this is something that almost blocked me today, and I was getting pretty frustrated. But watched some videos online, and it just needed some more oil, which I assumed is what it needed, but I didn't know how to fill it. So turns out that's the main pump, not valve. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Cylinder, piston, pump piston, and it's filled with fluid in there. So that. I saw one online that had a little screw inset there, but this mine just has a rubber plug. I bought this lift at Advanced Auto ages ago, and it was pretty cheap, but it just had a rubber plug, so took the plug out, and I probably should have released the pressure on it. When I did, it popped out, and I was worried. It's kind of fall here, and I was worried that I lost it. Like it popped with enough pressure that I thought it shot all over the place. So, and I got it sprayed like hydraulic fluid in my face, which was fine. Everything was fine. The plug was just down below. It had fallen down below. It didn't really shoot out of there. It's just a little rubber plug, and took that out, opened up the valve, and just filled it with hydraulic jack oil, which is the same jack oil I used and I've had, I think, since high school. So hopefully it doesn't go bad. It looked nice and clean. Filled it all the way to the top, and pumped it a couple times with the valve closed to see if any air bubbles came out. Try to bleed it a little bit. No air bubbles came out. It went in really smooth. There was really no air, and it flowed in really nice. So I don't think there's really any air in it. Put the cap back on. It works great. So you need to get your jack to work. Try to look up the original model and get the owner's manual and figure out the right way to do it. But if not, typically there's a plug or something here in this valve, and open it up, put some fluid in, move the arm up and down a couple times with it closed so it bleed all the air out, and then put the plug back in and it'll work. So there you go. Now the next test, or the next job, is to get this thing moved so that I get that jack off there and get it moved a little bit, clean up the garage. And then it turns out, I think the leak that I've got on it is the front pump cover, unfortunately, which requires dropping the transmission. So I'm going to live with it for now. Essentially, if you drive it every couple days, it's fine. But if you get it really hot and let it sit and it gets really cold, that seal must kind of dry up, and it just leaks like crazy. And transmission fluid, I swear there's something like magical about it. It will just travel so far. It will follow any contour. So it flowed all the way out along the side of the wall and all the way back this way. So I think for now I'm going to live with it, just because I got to get this car moved for the winter. Put it in the other garage and put a pan underneath it. And this spring I'll probably drop the transmission. I may just swap the engine and transmission at this point. I'm getting kind of sick of dealing with the rat's nest of wiring. I can just rip all the wiring out, rewire the whole car, put an LS motor in it, and be done with it. But we'll see. Right now I don't have time to deal with it. I got other projects. I just needed to get it garage kind of cleaned up for fall. So I'm going to get that jack stand off of it and be done for the day.